I don't think they need to see my face. I just stand in the room. Right. So today we are very honored to have Dr. Awinder Kaur. He is here to give us a talk from the AI in Action, Revolutionizing the Real World and Top Global Innovations. So just a little bit intro about Dr. Awinder. So Dr. Awinder is a distinguished educator in the data science and information system. So Dr. Kaur is Associate Professor and the Discipline Group Lead for Data Science and Mathematics at the UNG group of the University of Warwick, right? So since 2015, she has taught various subjects, including the data science, AI, and cybersecurity at Coventry University. This was her previous job, and now she is in the UNG of University of Warwick, right? So I don't introduce much because Dr. Awinder said that she wants to keep a little bit mystery, and she will share with you about her story more by herself, and probably she will just have some Q&A, some quiz with you. So I hope everyone will enjoy the talk that I brought to you from UK. Right, so let's welcome Dr. Awinder.
Thank you, CY. Thanks for arranging this as well. It was really useful. Can we have the slides? Is it sharing the slides right now? It is, right? Online, can you actually see the slides?
Yes, I can. Okay, slides can be seen.
So I'll just start if you have any questions. Okay. So the way I want to actually run this is I want to make it as interactive as possible. So of course, all of y'all are part of the USM community. I'm sure you're going to be very, very interactive and engaging. All right. So that's how I want to run it. And online as well, if you have any questions, you can actually ask me. I'll be very happy to answer it. So I will be going through AI in action, revolutionizing the real world and top global innovations. So I'm actually the associate professor and also discipline group lead at WMG, which is a department within University of Warwick, which is the top 10 university in the UK. All right, so that's a bit about myself. Now, before I move to the next slide, can I ask you to guess where I'm from? Any guesses? You can guess anything you want. I always ask people this. Sorry? Europe? Okay. Anything else?
Or maybe Australia.
India? Okay. Anything? Anywhere else?
Australia.
Okay. Okay. So you're right. I'm from Malaysia. I'm a pure Malaysian. I'm actually from Ipoh. So this is my country. I'm back to my country. So I am representing Malaysia in a different stage, and which is why, and the other surprise is, where did I actually study? USM, which is why I'm back here, because I'm also a USM alumni. So which is why I'm here, presenting here, and I definitely want to give back to USM as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. But this talk is not only going to be about AI, but hopefully it's also to tell you about my journey. And how many of y'all are doing your master's right now? How many of y'all are doing your master's? How many of y'all are doing your PhD? How many undergraduate? I assume online will have some undergraduate as well, right? So hopefully this will actually help you as well. Of course, I have a PhD, but I didn't do it here, but I did my master's by research here. So I'm sure it's going to be very useful for you, just to give you some tips on understanding things and what USM has actually taught me, because I've learned a lot. Let's just say I've learned a lot from USM, which prepared me for the global stage. And this is not me buttering up USM. This is the reality, which allowed me to a lot of opportunities. So a little bit about myself. That's a picture of me graduating from USM. That's my parents. Me graduating from my PhD in New Zealand. So I was in Malaysia. Obviously, I was born and brought up in Malaysia. I was in Malaysia until I completed my master's. Then I left Malaysia to go to New Zealand. I got a full scholarship in New Zealand to do my PhD there. Then I got a job in the UK. My first job was in Coventry University. Then I got poached by University of Warwick in December 2022. I was offered a job as associate professor and also discipline group lead managing people. So that's my journey roughly. All right. So these are my qualifications. This is not to boast to you. This is just to explain to you what my journey was. I did a diploma in science. I did a BSc in information systems engineering. I did an MSc in computer science. I did a PhD. I have done 2 teaching certificates. And now I'm thinking, what else? What's next? If you think teaching or learning is like it ends, it's not true. Any of the academic staff will agree with me. If you think that learning stops, it's never going to stop. It continues. Whether it's short courses or longer courses, I'm thinking, what should I do next? I was thinking of another PhD, but I'm sure you would agree with me that's crazy because I'm sure you're enjoying your journey a lot, but it is also a very stressful journey. But I do want to probably look at even a PhD, maybe another PhD. But that's a bit about me. My experience at USM. I did my MSc Computer Science by research. I was at USM, and I was also a research officer at National Advanced IPv6 Center. Did I get that right? It's been a while, but I was actually there. I was working with them for many years. I worked with government agencies and various organizations because of my role in USM. It was very, very helpful. My MSc supervisors was Puan Rosna Idrus, who was really, really very helpful, and Prof. Sureswaran Ramadas. Some of the core skills and values that I have attained while I was here is one of it is technical skills. Of course, all of y'all will learn some technical skills. But not only that, I also learned management and admin skills, communication and leadership skills. I was attending a lot of conferences. I was the MC there. I used to present my papers there. I used to travel a lot with this as well. So I did a lot of work. I have done finance work, believe it or not. I've done budgeting, everything here. So I've learned a lot. Values and personal qualities, innovation, problem solving, creativity, a lot of things. And now that I'm leading people, one of the most important things is I have to have critical thinking. I have to be innovative. I have to be a problem solver. If you think your education here, it's only you coming in and listening, I'm sorry, that's not it. It's much more than that. You gear yourself up to be prepared. How many of y'all have some job experience already? Some of y'all have it, right? Does it help you here? I assume yes, but you will learn much more that gears you up for the future because some of y'all will go for job opportunities and you need to outstand compared to the millions of people who are applying for jobs out there. So learn as many skills as possible because it really helps you. So some of my key achievements, since I graduated from USM, I did my PhD at Auckland University of Technology, New Zealand, full scholarship. And I also got a graduate teaching assistant lecturer role, which was good because I still remember my first class was a disaster because I had problems with my passwords for my students on one of the systems that they were using. That was not ideal, but I learned a lot from that. I became, I think, so much better. And then obviously when I finished, I got 2 job offers in New Zealand. But then I applied for 2 jobs in the UK. I got both. One was UK and one was in Ireland. And I got both. I chose the UK one, which was really useful. So then I was in Coventry University. I started off as a lecturer in 2015. I became assistant professor in 2019, and then became associate head of school enterprise and innovation / associate professor in 2021. Then I got poached by University of Warwick. So they approached me. They had coffee with me to try to see whether I would actually join them. And they offered me a job as the lead for the whole discipline group. And it was really good because I didn't think that I would be that good to work at the top 10 university in the UK, but apparently I am. Some of my key achievements, I have strong experience in teaching activities global engagement, commercial projects, and research. I have been the program director for 7 courses, collaboration with Bosch. I'm sure you have heard of Bosch company. I was actually working with them on different courses for their employees. I won Innovate UK, which is our government body, Driving Electric Revolution Beat, which is 921,000. I led the development of 10 days electrification course. Of course, we are moving from a world of petrol, diesel to electric vehicles. That was what I have created, which is electrification. And I managed a team of 13 academics, which included 3 professors, which was very interesting. When you work with professors, then you know how interesting it could be. Link tutor for Middle East College for 5 years. I developed various successful courses and worked with major employers such as Bentley, NHS, which is our government, UK government healthcare provider. So they take care of that. Jaguar Land Rover, Bosch, SAP, and so many others. So just to give you a bit about my journey. Now my current role, I'm a line manager for 11 academic staff. I have the largest course under me, which is under my discipline group, which is data science and digital operations, e-commerce and digital analytics, digital management technology with consultancy, and digital marketing. I have just created the first MSc AI course in Warwick, which will start from October 2025. I'm also creating a data science and AI working group. Warwick as the leading institution with various sort of industry. I have just a few days ago found out that I have won a bid from Jaguar Land Rover to train up their execs, which is manager levels, higher manager level, on data science. And that will be good for my CV as well. And I'm working with collaboration with IBM, Tata Auto Components, and other companies. So these are just some of the things that I'm working on. So coming back to this, something that I definitely want to advise you, hopefully this will be useful as an alumni from here, that for my journey, this is just a beginning. Every step forward is a step towards achieving something bigger and better than your current situation. So I am thinking of how I can support alumni again. How can I give back to USM, the place that has shaped me quite a bit? So hopefully you start thinking of that as well when you graduate. How do you build a community? I still kept in touch with some of my colleagues. We still are on LinkedIn and all that. We still keep in touch with each other. But I'm sure you will have that sort of experience as well. All right. So the importance of giving back, how you can actually engage. Okay. So any questions so far before I move to the lecture? I hope to make it interactive, so please do stop me. All right. So this is my talk today. So what I'm actually going to cover is the current real world applications of AI to showcase how AI innovation are improving our daily lives and enhancing business success, and to inspire and inform about the potential and importance of AI in our future. How many of y'all would categorize yourself as experts in AI? How many of y'all don't know a thing about AI? How many of y'all don't use ChatGPT? Seriously, I can't believe it. That's amazing because even I use it. That's the thing. That's why you are the legend. You have been here as I know, I remember you, of course. This is why you're the legend. You are an AI itself. You don't need AI. But for me, of course, even I use it. Even I use it because if I'm going to teach AI and I'm teaching AI and I have just created the first AI course, how do I not know it by heart, what is being implemented? So just a bit about that. Now, AI in everyday life, our smartphone assistant. So now we have the latest AI phone. Which one is it? Which one is the latest AI phone? Y'all are really good, aren't you? I haven't bought the new phone, but I do know it. So the Samsung S24 phone is a full AI phone. So that's what they keep advertising. I haven't tried it, but it's one of the latest one. But if we look at it, how the smartphone assistants, especially Siri and Google Assistant and all, has evolved so quickly. You can see how it was a couple of years ago. It has evolved. Why do you think that is? AI has helped it, correct? It has actually helped it quite a bit. A smartphone assistant provides various help, such as scheduling appointments and basically also spying on you. I'm sure whenever you speak about something you want to buy, the next minute it appears on your phone. Yes? On Instagram or Facebook or something like that. Have you actually encountered that? Yes? Because they listen, right? But every time you search on something, the next minute it actually appears on your Instagram, Facebook, or whatever it is, even Google ads. They keep coming up. But that's all happening, right? And AI is actually helping it to evolve even further. Okay, those are the things that is happening. But also the fact is, how many of y'all think AI is really bad? Okay, how many of y'all think AI is the best thing that has happened in the world? I'm neither sides. I see both sides because I'm also going to cover the ethics part of it, because that's the other biggest issue. I'm sure from the cybersecurity aspect, you see a lot of issues there as well. And yes, it's a huge, massive area that is a lot of concerns, which I'm going to go through towards the end as well. All right, how they learn from our queries and routines to offer more personalized assistance. Why do we need something like AI? What makes it so important? Why? Because in general, we are lazy creatures. We are quite lazy that we want to kind of simplify our lives, right? Yeah, we just want to make our life easy. Every time we use our technology, we know in terms of the cybersecurity side, you know that you shouldn't be actually saving things on your phone or being really, really careful about how you actually save, because all of us are actually online, most of us. How many of y'all don't have any Facebook or any social media? Which, you see, there you go. You are the best proof of how cybersecurity should actually look like. That all of us are either on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or anything. But if we are not in LinkedIn, it's not good for us either. Because all of us are looking for jobs or opportunities or connections or things like that. And that's why we do utilize it. But how safe is it? You know, because your data is there, correct? So these are just some of the things that I wanted to cover before I go in more depth. So understanding AI, a simple definition of AI as the simulation of human intelligence processes by machine, especially computer systems. The key areas of AI application: learning, reasoning, self-correction. I'm sure some of y'all know machine learning, correct? You understand machine learning. What does machine learning essentially do? What do they do? Yes, say anything you want. I want it to be correct. It's basically learning. That's what it's actually doing. But that benefits obviously for the AI side. That's what AI is based on, machine learning, correct? So like the human brain, like humans, it works the same sort of way. So machine learning, AI that learns and adapts from experience based on what we do as well. We learn from experience and we keep improving based on our experience as well. That's essentially what they are doing. I won't go through the technical bit of it because you all are from computer science. I'm sure you understand it. You can probably tell me more about it as well, right? But machine learning is one. Reasoning is the other aspect of it. The ability of AI to solve problems through logical deduction and make decisions based on the available information. It's basically like a human brain. It reasons out. How do we make decisions? How do we actually know what to do? How many of you have actually wondered how ChatGPT reasons things out? Or do you actually just copy some questions and just put it and wait for the answer? No, right? I'm sure you actually start prompting it, seeing what comes up with it, how reliable it is and all that. It reasons out as well. So it's actually mimicking a human's brain. That is essentially what it is doing, right? So the other part of it, I'm sure I had it in the slide, but I'm not sure. The slide looks a little bit fuzzy. The other part of it is self-correction. Once you actually have your output, it also looks at your output and corrects things based on what the output is. That's the other part that AI also does. So these are the three parts of it. Essentially, that's what it covers. I'm not going to go through the technical part of it because, again, this is not really a technical talk, but more of the application part of it. All right. Now, AI's transformative role, it is actually transforming a lot of industries. Can an industry actually survive without actually utilizing AI right now? It's very hard. It's very hard for an industry to actually survive without utilizing AI, because even if you don't use it, your competitors are using it, right? So you can see AI is just not a future concept, but it's already part of various sectors, such as healthcare, entertainment, e-commerce, sustainability, and much more, much more than that. Healthcare for assisting doctors, education for automating grading systems, autonomous vehicles for advanced features, businesses for smoothing overall process, travel industry for predicting pricing patterns, social medias for serving personalized experience. If you look at it, how many of y'all have done marking? Have you done marking? Yes, of course. You have, Manmeet has. The rest of y'all, have you done some marking? It is one of the tasks that, do we love it? Not really, because some of y'all will go into an academic career. Not really. I don't know anyone who enjoys and loves marking. It's not an easy task. Yeah, exactly. Answers is given. Yes, correct. Some of it is so frustrating that you wish you didn't have to look at it at all. But that's the fact that if we can automate our task, that's where the role of technology comes into play. If we can automate our tasks, since I manage a team, and some of them really, how do I put it in the nicest manner, do not enjoy marking in any sense at all. And obviously, in terms of computer science, sometimes because it's programming, you can always find ways to automate the task, which is what you can probably do. For example, Python programming, you can actually automate it. And we have found easier ways to do that as well, right? So it's not the easiest, but if technology can support you, but how reliable it is another fact. Okay, but I will be going through much more about this. So education, autonomous vehicle, I'll go through all of it. So the first part is the healthcare, AI in healthcare. So I'll use the example of what is happening in the UK. So the transformative role of how AI has been there in the healthcare industry, where there has been improvements in diagnostic, treatment personalization, and efficiency. Imagine you're a patient. How many patients do doctors have? A lot. But do they actually personalize your treatment? They should. Otherwise, you do have a risk there. Otherwise, you should be worried. If they have a general one, that everybody has the same sort of treatment, that is not what we go to doctors for, right? We do want a more personalized treatment. But where can technology support you? There's a lot of things that AI can support with as well, to make it more personalized, to perhaps with data rather than only human input. That could be that as well, based on the data that is available for different sort of patients around the world, for example, accessibility in that sense. There are so many things that could be done. So this company, DeepMind, which is a UK innovation in global healthcare. So DeepMind, which is a UK-based AI company, has a huge role in the healthcare innovation. Have you heard of DeepMind? Yes? And you know about the controversy about DeepMind as well. I'm sure if you would have read, there were some issues there as well with the data protection and that sort of thing. But they have actually, it's a UK-based company, where they actually have a role in our healthcare. So it's collaboration with NHS and other healthcare providers to improve patient outcomes. Now, NHS is our government healthcare providers, which is, I've been there in the UK since October 2015. You need to be nearly dying to be able to get an appointment with the doctor. You have to be almost dead, then you probably can get an appointment. So I have cracked the code. What I do is I tell them I have been sick for 2 weeks, and then they take me seriously, because that is a way I can get. And plus my doctor title does help as well. Utilizing my doctor title, why not? If it benefits, why not? But the fact is they could be more efficient. They could be more effective. So that is what is happening with DeepMind. They realize that NHS is not as effective as it should be. So they are working with them. How effective it is, it's more focused on cancer treatment, mammogram, that side of things. So I think in the next slide, I do have some information on that as well. So transforming disease detection. So DeepMind's AI has been utilized in the UK for detecting diseases such as its work on diabetic retinopathy and breast cancer detection. So AI is being used to analyze retinal scans and mammograms with higher accuracy and speed. Why do AI and machine learning and all became very, very crucial? What happened within these few years that has sped up technology? What happened these few years? We have better machines, but what happened these few years that has made us even more reliant on technology? COVID. COVID actually has transformed the way we look at technology as well, because it played an important part, which is why I know a lot of researchers who was working on this side of things as well. They were assisting, supporting NHS quite a bit, because we needed technology. We really relied on them to analyze data and everything, to come up with treatments, to come up with support that is needed and all, and data played an important part. So the future of AI-powered healthcare, broader implications of AI in healthcare, such as potential for personalized treatment plans, predictive analytics for disease outbreaks, and operational efficiencies, because we can never know when the next COVID will come. We can't, it never used to be that way. I couldn't believe when that happened. I was like, no, that's not possible. But that's why we do need, or I'm being biased, but at the end of the day, we live in a world we never even used to have proper Teams or Zoom or WebEx. It never used to work perfectly well. I'm sure you remember a few years back where everything didn't work well. But now we are so reliant on it, correct? So things actually happen, and somehow or the other, it did do well for the technology side of things. Right, so that's just a bit about healthcare side of things. So the next part of it, I'm sure everyone can relate to this, which is AI in entertainment and e-commerce. These are the things that happen. How many of y'all still actually go to a shop to buy clothes? You can be honest. Yes, of course. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. Even I had to buy a few things. I was like, I'm in Malaysia. Oh my God. I went to Pavilion. I spent an hour. I'm very good in shopping. I'm so targeted and so focused. I know how to shop really quickly and get the best things and then get out of it. But most of the time I shop online. A lot of us, I think, have moved to the online side of things because it has made our life much easier. Sometimes we do not have time, so it makes it much easier. But obviously here you don't have Amazon, do you? Don't you use Amazon as much? What do you use here? Shopee, of course. Yeah, Lazada, Alibaba, Shopee, correct. I know all of it. My family does that. That's how I know it. So yes, we are using a lot of that. But when you look at it, AI in entertainment and e-commerce, so how it has actually personalized the user experience. You, of course, have seen your screens when you utilize some sort of e-commerce website. I'm sure you would have seen. I don't know. Now, most businesses definitely have online presence. Very few do not have it. We are moving in that era that most of the businesses do. Now, Shopee's AI experience sort of thing, they utilize it, or Amazon or Shopee uses AI to personalize product recommendation based on users' browsing history, purchase behavior, and items rating. Every time you rate it, every time you actually provide feedbacks, every time you search something, you can see it actually is there as something that recommends you. That's why I keep purchasing things. It's not me, it's this. They are doing it to me. Because every time I get recommendation, the minute that I'm online, on that website, I already have that recommendation of what I have searched. So I wanted to buy a new laptop. And I just searched it once on another platform. It appeared on my Amazon. It's already there, telling me all the recommendation. But what it is doing, and they always ask you to rate things. I'm sure you would have seen, but that's how they collect data as well. That's how they keep recommending you to similar things or better things so that you keep purchasing things, right? But it is also necessary, because if they don't do that and if you have to keep searching, you don't have a good user experience. And why would you even bother, correct? So that is also that aspect of it. AI optimizes logistics and inventory management to improve your customer satisfaction. Okay, how many days does Shopee take to actually deliver things to you? 7 to 10 days. Okay. You can opt for the next day one, right? Yeah, but you have to pay quite a bit, right, for that? Yeah. But for example, Amazon, it's like next day delivery. Even that is too late for me already. Sometimes you just want it to hurry really quickly. But how are they able to manage that though? How can they manage that? Because that depends on the inventory, depends on how it is actually shipped to you, how quickly, when it happens. Everything is actually managed by something, right? So technology supports with that. But AI is even giving it a better experience. If you utilize even banks and all that, sometimes they have chatbots chatting with you, AI chatbots. For women, you might know something called Sephora. Sephora is quite popular, where you have AI chatbots, at least in the UK, that they are actually the ones supporting you with all your questions. That improves your customer satisfaction because you're happy. You don't have to rely on a human, and the wait time could be a long time when AI chatbots are there. But of course, there are other aspects that I'll cover later in terms of whether we might lose our jobs because of AI. That's the other aspect. A lot of people are worried about that aspect as well. Okay, so now the other part of it is Netflix. Of course, you watch Netflix, right? Or you don't watch at all? No, you don't, right? I wish I was like you. I would save a lot of time if I don't. Research, no time. Oh my God. I don't believe it though. I really find it hard. Are you saying that you actually study all the time? All the time? Without any movie? Your supervisor are here, right? Yeah. Hardworking one. It's brilliant because I was very hardworking. Until now, I'm extremely hardworking. I don't know how hardworking can somebody be, but I work very hard. But I actually sometimes have Netflix in the background as some sort of entertainment. Otherwise, I will drive myself crazy. But a lot of us watch it Netflix, for example, or Disney Hotstar, or whatever it is called here, right? We do watch something or the other. But even look at the way they have used machine learning algorithms to recommend movies and shows based on users' viewing history, preferences, and even time of day. Imagine even the time of day. Nighttime, you could want to watch something else, and in the daytime, you might want to, your mind is more active, you want to watch something else. Nighttime, maybe you want to watch more horror, so it scares you and you can't sleep properly. Maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit, right? You could. But you maybe want more relaxing movies. But just imagine how clever it is. because that's how they are actually getting you hooked up to it. You are happy, you continue with them. You are unhappy, you move to somewhere else. So that's what they are actually doing. It's all competition. So if me as a company, if I don't move to AI, then I have a problem because my competitors are all moving towards it. So that's the other aspect of it. Okay, so you can see how it matches it. The third part, which is AI in sustainability, right? And smart living. Sustainability, how important is it right now? Crucial, very important. We can see how USM campus is green. We are looking for more greenery. We are looking at better ways of living. We want to do a lot of recycling. The whole move, I created the whole electrification course for GLR powertrain engineers. So Jaguar Land Rover powertrain engineers, because in the future, most of the cars are moving either hybrid or electric because of pollution. We are looking at net zero, correct? So sustainability plays an important part in our lives right now, whether you like it or not. The amount of pollution. So I was in Bangkok, and I was in Jakarta, and I have been in Malaysia. So this 2 weeks that I have been packed. Actually, a month ago, I came to teach in Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok for 2 weeks. Then I went back to the UK, and then I came back again. Believe me, this is an isolated thing because I haven't been home for more than 1.5 years or nearly 2 years. I haven't been home, but now I'm traveling a lot. But when I looked at Bangkok, for example, you can see the pollution is high, very high. Compared to Malaysia, Malaysia is so green. You still have more plants, everything is green, and the traffic is not as bad as Jakarta and Bangkok for sure. So you do want to keep that sort of environment, correct? So which is why there's a lot of effort in sustainability, huge, massive efforts in sustainability and smart living as well. So AI drives sustainability. AI is being leveraged to address environmental challenges and promote sustainability across various sort of sectors. They are utilizing AI quite a bit to support with this. All right. So this is a big step. So Tesla revolution in towards sustainability or the usage of AI. So Tesla self-driving cars and its contribution to reducing carbon emission. How many of y'all are happy to actually be in a self-driving car? No one. You? Very happy. Only one. One is a risk. To take risks at all, do we? Because even sometimes when other people are driving, we are taking the brakes. We are pressing the brakes because we don't trust people. Correct? Imagine being in a self-driving car. You're worried because what could potentially happen to you? Correct? And this is what they know. There are so many aspects to it. They're doing research on various things. So I have invited somebody from Jaguar Land Rover, who's the head of research there, who has presented on various aspects of self-driving car because he's doing research on it. And it's a massive field because they have to consider every part of it, including motion sickness. People also have that aspect of it. So his research is mostly on that. But it was really interesting just watching his talk. But there are so many factors that they have to consider. How does it actually happen? How comfortable you are? Who are you going to? How can you rely on it being driven by itself? Who is taking care of it? But AI is being utilized as well. How can it improve the routes as well? How do you get from A to B? How do you move from A to B? What are the traffic going to look like? How does it find the most efficient way? So all of that they are thinking of, or they are already utilizing AI to work on it, right? So improving battery efficiencies, because if you look at electric vehicles, what do they use? They don't have petrol or diesel. What do they have? Batteries, correct? But batteries don't last that long as well. So I have many friends with electric vehicles. They have to keep charging it every day, which is another factor. And it takes quite a while to charge as well. So can they make it even more efficient? So they are utilizing AI as well. Supports a grid through smart charging as well. There are so many aspects of it that they are looking at research on it as well. A lot of effort are being done. But at the end of the day, that's where they are also potentially looking at how AI can support with the various activity and research, right? So hopefully I'm not boring you. I hope that it has been interesting so far. Now the other part of it is smart homes. The AI revolution at home. AI integrates into smart home devices, learning user preferences to automate tasks, enhance security, and improve energy efficient. So smart thermostat. Imagine aircons which are smart. You don't actually have to worry about it at all. You step into it, or if the capacity is massive, then of course the aircon has to be lower. The temperature goes lower. But if the capacity is higher, then you start looking at the aspects of making it, if the capacity is lower, maybe 4 of y'all are in the room, then probably you don't need the aircon to be 16 degrees, correct? So looking at that aspect, and thermostat is something that is very important for me, because in the UK it's always cold. So I think my colleague CY, who was here earlier, she asked me, she was like, so is it still winter in the UK? I say it's always winter in the UK. We only get 2 weeks of summer, and that's why we enjoy ourselves. Because now, I think a few weeks ago, when I was actually here, it was snowing there as well. So it's always cold there. It's always freezing. I love the cold, but recently I think I've been so tired of the cold, I just want some warmth. So I'm enjoying the humidity and heat here. Weirdly, I don't know what's going on with my body, but I have started enjoying the warmth, because this is all I'm going to get for a couple of months. Then I'm coming for a proper holiday. So just to tell you, the lighting, voice assistants, everything is being automated. Like I said in the beginning, we are kind of really, really lazy people. We want to make our lives as easy as possible, which is why we actually fall for all of this. We can't even spend, today when I was traveling from Ipoh, so I drove from Ipoh, I only spent like half a day in my own hometown, and I'm here, and then tomorrow I have a meeting, then I'm flying back to KL. So while I was driving from Ipoh to here, my mom also followed me. At least she can spend a couple of hours with me, which is great. But I was like, can you like be quick? Find the whatever app that she was using, because I don't even know Touch and Go app properly these days. I haven't been here long. I was like, can you like search it quickly? She was like, what do? I don't understand. Come on. But I can't, I don't have the patience anymore to like wait hours. Because now I just ask Siri, please help me, and it does everything. I have Alexa, Alexa helps me. But Alexa is also collecting all my data and listening to me all the time. She spies on me all day long. I don't trust her as well. Yes, I have actually removed her, because after a while I was like, I don't think I should trust her, because she keeps listening to me. But even our mobile, it's always capturing data. If you think it's not, it is. It is actually there. So all of this is to make our life easier, but the downside of it is our privacy gets lost. But companies are happy because they get our information and they know exactly what to sell to us. They love us because they know exactly what to sell to us, which is great. Now, how many of y'all are gamers here? Great, I expected more. Researcher, you're not a gamer, I suppose, right? You just do research, correct? Yeah. I want to be like you. No, I work very hard as well. So I only play baby games because sometimes you need something to kind of keep you alert and strategic. So somehow or the other, you do need a balance. The other advice I would give you in between as well, if you think that working hard only helps you, it's not. You need to be productive, which means that you need to have a downtime. You need to have some balance in your life. Make sure you play some games, or do some sports, or if you like shopping, do some shopping, or whatever it is, because you have to be productive. The only way you can be productive is you get some rest. your brain needs some rest as well. So while you are in this journey, please make sure you do take care of yourself, because otherwise you're going to be burned out and you never become efficient this way. So please remember that, because I keep advising. I have students that I advise them as well. I had one student actually came to me and she said that I'm here. She's from Saudi actually. I'm here not to make friends. I'm here to study. I'm doing my master's for a year, but I'm just here to study. I'm not here to make friends, neither do I want to do anything. That's not a right approach. These friends that you make here are probably going to be lifelong friends. And you don't know when you have to collaborate with each other. So you think that you live in a bubble, that's wrong. Me and CY, we have been friends for years. And look where I am today. Because of her, I'm here in USM. And that's what she can, I told her, I say, anything that I can do from my side, please let me know. It's the same, right? So if you think that you're here only to study, you're wrong, because you need to have a balance. Enjoy your experience here. This will never come back. My PhD, my master journeys are things that I remember. My undergraduate, I have friends since I was in kindergarten. So I still keep in touch with those from kindergarten. And it is useful. One of the reasons why I have come up so quickly as well is my ability to network really well. I keep my connection and genuine friendships that I have made and connections. It's not one way sort of thing. We have to give back as well. So please remember that whatever course you're doing, whatever degree you're doing, this is an experience you will never get back. Appreciate all your colleagues, because these are the people that you might be working with later on. The world is very small. You need collaboration, different countries, different ones. I know my professors here who have ended up in different universities as well. And some of them have retired. I still keep in touch with them because you never lose touch. So just have that balance as well. That helps you. These are just experiences that I have actually done, and it has helped me so much in life. All right. So back to AI in gaming. AI has become a cornerstone in game development and player and experience, transforming the way games are played, designed, and integrated into our culture. So when I was actually in Jakarta, I visited, because I did various things. I did guest lectures in the university there. I have even visited a gaming company. And they have just adopted AI in gaming. They are looking at how they can utilize it as well, which is their biggest question. They have adopted it. They have looked at softwares that can help them become even better. But they are looking at this aspect because it is for them, they need to be competitive. There are many gaming companies. They have given me links to their games and everything. It's pretty cool. But just the fact that they are also looking at this aspect tells you that industry is moving. How many of y'all have worked with the industry? Any industry? Have you worked with industries? Yes? Yes, you have worked with industries, so you know how it is. It's very competitive. They are always looking at different things. Because I'm an academic staff that work very closely with industry. I work very closely. Why I need to do that? Because I know that whatever I'm teaching is applied to the industry. I don't live in a bubble. I've created the MSc AI course based on inputs from industry. Otherwise, I'm living in a little bubble that I think academic side is only covered, which is research and my understanding of it, and that's not it. All right, so this is what the gaming company is doing. So enhancing the experience. So AI is there to create more immersive and responsive gaming environment. Sorry, because I copied the file here, so I think something happened somewhere. My slides do not look like this, trust me. I'm a slightly a perfectionist. I keep saying that, but maybe more than slightly. So I do like things proper. And if it's not done proper, sometimes it annoys me. But yes, that's how I am. So dynamic difficulty adjustment, DDA, where the game's difficulty adapts to the player's skill level to keep the game challenging but fair. If you can finish a game within a night, 1,000 levels within a night, will you actually enjoy the game? You will never want to play that game ever again. It's too boring. right? You want something challenging but fair. If you don't actually utilize it as well, if you don't pass a level within 2 months, you get bored as well. Maybe a few days or so you get bored. During the pandemic, I used to use a lot of Nintendo Switch. There was a fit ring that I used to use as an exercise thing. I lost a lot of weight because of that. That was great. But when I used it, at one point, I think after a year or so, I was stuck in that level. It actually has challenges. And I was stuck there for a long period of time. I got bored of it. But that also happens, right? So how do they actually adjust it? More personalized experience as well. That's where they are utilizing AI as well. So it's more personalized to the way people play it. All right, so this is that. I do have a video. I don't know whether I can play the video. I can try it, right? Okay, so this is where AI, generative AI has actually sparked life into virtual characters. I'll try to play it. Just have a look at it so you can have a breather from my voice.
And a non-playable character named Chin. This captivating modern shop scene was created by NVIDIA using the latest RTX rendering technology. Chin's alive. Please take a look.
Hey, Jen, how are you?
Unfortunately, not so good.
How come?
Worried about it. It's gotten bad lately. Shop got caught in the crossfire.
Oh.
If you want to do something about this, I have heard rumors that the powerful woman is causing all sorts of chaos in the city. He may be the root of this violence.
Sounds good. Where can I find him?
I have heard he hangs out in the underground fight clubs on the city's east side. Try there.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, why do you think that was different from the games that you have played before or you have seen? Why was that different? How is it different? Yes, that's the thing, that now the demand to play games as well, we want it as close as possible to reality. That's where AI can actually help. Because if we don't have that real experience, we tend not to enjoy the game anymore. When I was younger, I used to play Mario at that time, right? Now Mario looks really different. It has evolved so much over a period of time. It does not look the same anymore because the way we are as well, over a period of time, we keep changing as well, our needs, what we want. Now we have Grab everywhere. Those days when I was growing up, there was taxis only, right? Now Grab becomes so essential. We can't see a world without Grab or whatever other. I think we only have Grab here, right, in Malaysia. Sorry, what? eDrive. InDrive. InDrive. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you for teaching me that, because I only know Grab right now. And I know, of course, they won compared to Uber. So you don't have Uber here at all. I use a lot of Uber there. But the whole Southeast Asia, I think, is Grab. Then you have InDrive. Because in Indonesia, I also learned something Gojek or something, which is another different one. So I'm learning like different ones as well, right? So it's really interesting. But years ago, we are not used to this. But we did change because our requirements change as well. When they find a niche market, that's where they tap into it and they keep giving us different things. And we get adapted. Even though most of y'all think self-driving car is risky and all, believe it or not, in a few years, it might become a norm. Because we always were skeptical about different technologies, but we kind of like adopt it. After some time, I think it will become a norm. It will change because the generation is changing. And you can see the younger generation looks at things even more different. They are more risk takers as well. More of the younger one, when I look at my nephew and niece, they are a different generation altogether. They are doing all their studies online. Everything is online. And they were telling me how they learn. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Their syllabus has changed. They study in a private school in KL. But the way syllabus are, the way their mindset is, the way they use technology is quite different. Right? So that's just a little bit about that. I will come to the fun part of the ethics soon. So the future of AI in gaming. Future possibilities of AI in gaming, including the development of more complex AI characters, personalized gaming experiences, and even AI in game design and testing from the beginning. So one of the most interesting questions that someone in the gaming company asked me, now with AI, I'm an artist. I fear that I'm going to lose my job. What should I do? Because with the utilization of AI, where AI is actually creating that side or artistic side of things, that they might lose their job. What should I do then? I say you learn the tools and technology. I don't know what I can advise you, but if it was me, I would follow the trend and learn the tools and technology, because at least you can master that. There'll always be human inputs. If you understand the tools and technology, at least for the next few years, you're already covered because you will be the master in the tools and technologies. You will understand it. How can it make your life better? Can I ask you one question as well? Do you think that the students in University of Warwick, are they allowed to use ChatGPT or no? How many of y'all think that they can use ChatGPT? How many of y'all think they cannot use ChatGPT? How many of y'all are Switzerland and you don't sit left or right? Switzerland is the diplomatic one, so they sit in the corner. So how many of y'all are Switzerland? The rest of y'all are Switzerland, aren't you? But that's the thing. University of Warwick students are allowed to use ChatGPT. They can utilize it, but they need to reference where they have used it. Now, the thing is, we are not encouraging them to use it either, because where is the critical thinking? But the future of AI is such that they should be utilizing and following the trend, but not losing their critical thinking. So I sit within a committee that actually looks at creating assessments through AI, so that from the beginning, we actually create assessments that can help the students. Then we find ways to make them more critical, even though they actually utilize AI. So yes, they can. I had a recent experience where I'm also an external examiner with another university. So I looked at one student's script. He actually copied and pasted the AI answer. And he even forgot to remove the prompt, which tells him that you could actually include this. This might be a good answer. He actually included that. How clever can this person be? Of course, it's a straight up plagiarism case. We have to submit to the panel, and they actually spoke to him, and I'm sure that would be there. But the fact is, you cannot utilize in that sense, because where is your critical thinking? We should be in that generation that teaches people, or we should be thinking more critically. We utilize technology, but we still use our brains. If you shut down your brain, then there's no point whatsoever, right? So just to give you a little bit of context in terms of that, before we move to the ethical part, which will be the most interesting one, which is the ethical AI and future direction. This is where most of the question comes up. Even in cybersecurity, we have something called ethical hacking. Why do we say ethical hacking? Because you don't want to straight up say hacking, correct? Ethical means you're doing it in the right way. But while I have created my AI course, one of the modules in there is ethics, ethical AI implementation, because it's necessary. I had a staff actually asking me, why do you need a whole module on it? You don't need a whole module on it, because that is what people are really, really talking about right now. It's an important, crucial element in there. So as AI becomes more integrated in notice it within 2 seconds. I'm so good at it. That's why I know the whole AI tool. Because how can I actually work on AI if I don't know the tools that are being used? Correct? So AI, someone actually copies the email and put it on ChatGPT. What's happening there? Your data is there. Your information which you have copied is actually on there. And that's where the privacy concern is. Because that's what you're doing. You are essentially including data. When I decided to move to Warwick University, I actually asked ChatGPT, should I move or should I stay in this university? He gave me the most diplomatic answer ever. This is the benefits of this university. This is the benefits of this university. I was like, come on, decide. But that was like 12 months ago or so when I was asking, or more than a year. ChatGPT now looks different, and I'm on ChatGPT 4, so I'm paying for it. It's worth every penny because it is useful to learn it. And you can actually customize ChatGPT as well. I'm not actually promoting here, okay? So I know the policy here, which is probably not using it, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, academic staff, can students use AI? They can. So it's similar as Warwick, but within reasonable use, and you need to explain where you have used it, I assume. So it's a similar sort of thing in Warwick. So you do have that. But I'm not promoting the use of it because I still prefer people who send me email like a human being, rather than actually ChatGPT written one which looks so fake, too fake for my liking. But there is a need for stringent data protection measures and ethical data handling practices. What's happening right now is we don't actually have, especially in these countries around here, we don't have much data protection. In EU, we have something called GDPR, where you actually protect your data in some way or form. But with AI, there is it's another ball game altogether. What are they doing in terms of that? They are still not there. They're still working on it. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the government's responsibility? Is the company's responsibility? Is ChatGPT's responsibility? Is Gemini, which is Bard, is it their responsibility? Whose responsibility is it? Nobody knows. Everyone is actually working on it, but nobody knows whose responsibility. But there needs to be more data protection rule. But us, we have to be careful. Because how is ChatGPT becoming smarter? Because all of us, we are actually making it smarter. Why? We're giving it data. We're giving it what it wants, which is data. So every day we are feeding more and more data to it. That's why it's becoming smarter and smarter and smarter. So we need to be more responsible in how we actually share information. All of us should be like him, where he's doing the right thing, staying away from all of this, because that's the right way. Because what we are doing is we are making it more smarter, which is not the right way, especially our personal data. Once I think I saw my personal data was out there, and I actually contacted someone in Malaysia. I was like, you can't have my data here. Because in the UK, I come from the background that data is asset. A company's biggest asset is data. My data should be protected. I cannot allow it to be flying around here and there. And that's what we lack here. And eventually, I'm sure we'll do a better job. The other part of it is the biasness and fairness in AI system, which is the biggest issue as well. Because AI system can inherit biases from their training data or developers, impacting fairness and equality. All of us have biases. If we have a bad experience from somebody from a specific region, we tend not to like the rest of them. If you're telling you're a really unbiased human being, I won't believe you. All of us have some sort of biasness. And we tend to have that. Imagine the people who create it. They have their own set of biasness as well. The data set might be specific for one specific sort of mindset with some data, correct? So you already have that aspect there. So which is why there is also a problem with biasness and fairness, right? So diverse data set is very important. So if you are in data science, if you are looking at that area, you need to make sure that you do have various data sets. You shouldn't be reliant on only one. Inclusive development practices are very important to mitigate bias. So if you have various developers, you have different mindsets and things like that, that could help, right? So these are things as well. I don't know how many of you actually wonder where they get the data. Because I often wonder, I'm like, where do they get this? How do they get this? Who's feeding it? How did they come up with this? Is it even reliant? Should I actually believe it? Because I always ask questions. So the challenge of black box AI systems where decision-making processes are not transparent, because most of us don't know how the decision-making is done. Who makes it? Nobody has any idea, correct? We often question. If you're not somebody who questions as a student, that's really bad. You should be questioning. Every day you should ask where things come from. Because that's what you are doing. Majority of you here are doing your PhDs. If you're not actually questioning, that's not good at all. You should be questioning everything. Because you should be that sort of critical thinker. But this is also an example. Explainable AI or XAI that allows users to understand and trust AI decision is a way forward where they explain it, but it's still underdeveloped. It's still there, but it's being developed. There's so much more work that has to be done, right? So that is that aspect. I won't bore you too long. Please bear with me. But this is also the future of work. A lot of people are questioning this because AI job displacement concerns that AI automation can lead to significant job losses in sectors where repetitive tasks are prevalent. Specific roles or industries are at higher risk. For example, manufacturing, transportation, administrative positions. How many of y'all have seen the AI robot? There are a couple of them who are really popular. You've seen it, right? I'm sure some of y'all would have seen it. She's on YouTube. She's everywhere. There are a few of them that compete against each other. Sophia, right? Yeah. And it's like so amazing. And guess what? The AI robot now has feelings. She actually has feelings. She can tell you how she's sad and happy and all that. And I'm like, what? It's actually essentially becoming a human. But it also scares you because she can essentially be the admin person. Then you might not even need somebody in admin anymore. You have self-driving car, you may not even need Grab anymore, Grab drivers. So there are worries there. There are so many jobs, manufacturing, where people used to do things. But when robots can actually do, one of the subjects that I have on my course as well, robotics and automation, because it's an essential part of AI, right? That area itself, when you have robots doing the work, where is the human aspect of it? So these are things that people worry. If you ask me personally, am I worried as an educator whether I will lose my job? I'm never worried. I've never been that kind of person. I never actually worry. Even when I finished my bachelor's, master's, PhD, I never worry. I finished my master's from USM. I got a job in Shell. And I decided, no Shell, let me go for PhD. So I never really worry ever. I'm not a worrier. I'm more of somebody that goes for everything in life. That's why I never really worry. Am I worried that AI will replace me? Not really. I'm sure I'll be better than AI. If AI is that good, I will learn things that I will be better than them. That's my attitude. So AI job creation opportunities, while there is a risk to that, AI also leads to job creation, both directly within the tech sector and indirectly by enabling new industries and enhancing productivity. Similar to how we used to watch movies through video and all that, renting videos. Now we have Netflix, we have Amazon, we have everything. Things change. We never used to have Grab drivers, we have Grab drivers, Uber and all that. So new industries are created through AI as well, right? So examples are AI specialists, data scientists, role in AI-driven sectors such as renewable energy management and personalized healthcare. Healthcare is another aspect that is huge in this area. So there are many jobs that are being created, but I'll move to the next one. So transforming jobs with AI. AI should transform jobs rather than eliminate them. So within electric vehicle, why I got that whole contract from Jaguar Land Rover to upskill and reskill their employees, because they only had understanding of the previous way of working, right? They don't know electric vehicles. That's where the opportunity came, that I was actually upskilling and reskilling powertrain engineers in electrification. It's the same with AI. They can't throw away people. They have to upskill and reskill them. So with the example of the artist, all she has to do is, I told her, I say, I can't guarantee anything, obviously. But I say, why don't you learn the tools and technology? That will put you ahead of the rest. Why not? You could be an expert in that area. So that's also important. So it should transform many jobs rather than eliminating it. It includes augmenting human capabilities, making jobs more efficient, and allowing workers to focus on more creative, strategic, and interpersonal tasks. There'll always be the human touch. We need human beings. From COVID, we realized that we can't live without other people as well. We could for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. After that, we do need some human touch, human talk, right? So that's where you can. So a need for reskilling and upskilling to prepare the workforce for an AI-enhanced job market. So the ethical and societal consideration is also very important. There should be policies and education systems that allows this transition towards AI. That's where USM, University of Warwick, other education institutions play an important part, because we prepare the workforce, we prepare graduates like you, right? But government also plays an important part. How do we make sure that we support the current workforce? Okay, so it's just a role of different entities, government, education institution, businesses, so that we are all prepared for the future. Okay, that's a little bit about that. Now a little bit about my department itself. So my department is WMG, where I'm actually working. It is one of the largest department in University of Warwick. It's the richest one because we have I think 10 or 11 buildings. And what we offer in WMG are really applied courses, because we actually work with the industry. We work with the industry really closely. Just to give you some background of what we offer, all right? I know you're doing your PhD mostly, but I assume there are some undergraduate and master students as well. I assume, online at least. But a little bit about it, what we actually offer, cutting edge theoretical knowledge and practical hands-on experience to equip with advanced skills demanded by the industry. Because we all work closely with industry, all the work that we did, we cannot offer any traditional courses within my department. We cannot offer anything which is computer science or business or anything like that. It has to be an applied course, which is relevant to the industry. That's why my AI course is an applied course, which combines theoretical and practical course. So that is what we offer. So we are renowned for applied teaching, innovative research, strong industry connection, and a vibrant supportive community. So it's more focused on the workforce and what they need. So we collaborate a lot with industry. So a little bit about that. And then some of the courses that we offer, just to give you an understanding, technology and computing, which includes cybersecurity, engineering, cybersecurity management. We don't offer just cybersecurity. We only offer this sort of applicable or applied courses. Games engineering, which is our latest course. Artificial intelligence, which is what I have created. So that's starting next year. And these are all master's courses. Healthcare engineering and technology, which is digital transformation for healthcare, healthcare operational management, automotive one, which is sustainable automotive electrification, and various ones. The course under my discipline group is e-business management, which has 4 different specialisms, which I went through earlier. So this is a little bit about my department and the courses that we offer. And we also have PhD. Of course, you are already doing a PhD, but if you're interested in doing another one, you also have information about it as well. So PhD, obviously contribution to knowledge, which is what you're doing, traditional research, student based on campus, single thesis, publication. Yes. Sorry, Kurt's email. I will actually leave my card. You can get in touch with me. Okay, I'll pass you my card. I don't know whether this will allow you. Okay, I'll try. It's a little bit tricky, but I will leave you my card. You can get in touch with me. Okay, so these are all the computing related areas within my department, which is AI and computer vision, computer graphics and games, imaging, data science and AI, and so on. And this is all, my director of research is Kurt Debastita, so I work very closely with him. So if you want any information, just get in touch with me. I will give you information on this. So do you have any questions? Now that I have taken quite some time of yours, do you have any questions? Anything related to AI, related to the UK, related to what you need to in your research or whatever? Any questions? Yes. Okay. Yes. I would say in terms of fairness, depends on what data set do you have. Are you looking at the data sets itself? Or are you actually, what is your research about? Okay. It's very hard because again, like what I mentioned, it really looks at the data set that you actually utilize. What research you have done in the background. Who are you getting the data from? Who are the developers of that? So you are working on trustworthy in AI itself, right? So it really depends on what tools you're utilizing. So I don't know exactly your research, but I would like to know. We can actually have a separate discussion in a bit about it. But again, if it's just overall kind of thing, it depends on the data set that you utilize, what sort of data set, where you got it, is it reliable, how do you look at the data set? Because fairness and trustworthy, you do need to have it from the right info. So garbage in, garbage out. If you have the wrong data set, you don't actually look at it overall in that perspective. How do you train your model? What does your algorithm look like? That all plays an important part. But I would like to know more about your research. Maybe we can discuss a little bit about it later. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. You can. Correct. Correct. That's a very good question. But again, we can't achieve all of it, which is the biggest problem. But that's what your PhD is about, right? So you need to actually determine if you can't achieve it, why can't you achieve it? What are the limitations? What have you looked at? That's basically going to be your PhD. And of course, I know AI in general in terms of machine learning and things like that, but trustworthy, I'm not doing too much of research on it. But it will be interesting to have a discussion to see whether I can support you with it. Mm-hmm. Very good question, because right now we are developing that. As I have taken over this area, we are looking at short courses, and it will be offered online. Not immediately, but I think probably by beginning of next year, you will have many options of it. So definitely keep in touch with me. I am on LinkedIn, so feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Follow the progress, because we are offering that, because there's a huge demand, especially in the AI area. So we are looking at short courses. And that might be something which is interesting for you as well. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
For knowledge to support our our I think that the proper knowledge that support our now we are on the right path or what? What we are doing that fast.
Yeah.
So that will then on develop that are happening now.
Okay, it's a very good question. For me itself, for my PhD journey, of course, I worked with various people. If I'm looking at my master's journey in USM itself, while I was doing master's by research, I already started working with various people. So I was actually working with the government agency, and also I created the IPv6 migration plan at that time for the government agency, but obviously it was adapted after that and things like that. But that was what I created, for example, during mine. So with that, I had to work with a lot of government agencies, but my supervisors played an important role, because they actually supported me getting the right connection, supporting me with that aspects of it. But I was also very active with conferences and all that. I used to go for conferences, even for my PhD and my master's. That helped me a lot, because I connected with other researchers, what they are currently doing, and build the connections from there. I also reached out to a lot of people, which means I wasn't actually in my own bubble. I was actually understanding what others were doing in other parts of the world. And you will realize that the academic environment is really good. But it's not only that, I would also advise you, especially the generation or the period that you are in, you should also know what industry is doing. You shouldn't only focus on the research side of things. Also read about what industry is doing in the areas, because that will give you a broader understanding of the real world. Otherwise, if you don't have a direct connection, you can always read their white papers or follow their progress. For me, I used to follow a lot of different things. So computing news, different sort of technology news. I used to follow all the trends. That made sure that I was actually aware. Even when you go for your interview later, once you finish, they will ask you different sort of questions. They don't. I was actually speaking with when I was presenting, I think, in the offer holder event on Saturday. So I was talking to one of our alumni. She says she interviews a lot of graduates, even from Oxford, Cambridge, and all. They become very program graduates, that they only understand their area and that technical knowledge. They don't have that understanding of people's skills. They don't have presentation. They don't have understanding of what industry is doing, nothing. They become so technical and so programmed. So people don't want to hire like this. Even I don't want to hire. I did many interviews. I've hired many people in different roles. I don't want to hire an academic staff that has only focused on their research. I want to hire somebody that I can see can actually contribute to my team. I don't want to hire somebody that cannot actually think beyond their research area only. So that's why I think it's really important for you to keep up with the trend. Read about different things, read about technology, read about what industry is doing. Keep yourself so up to date that you become a valuable graduate. I only want to hire good ones who have who can hit the ground running. The one that I just hired right now, he wasn't the most experienced one, but he came across as the best one because he was up to date with the way we teach, the way we actually do research. He had everything covered, which I was really happy. He had so much to learn as well. I want somebody who has the scope of learning really quickly. You can't be rigid in your mindset that this is how I work and this is how you do. In the real world, you have to be more adaptable than anything that you can imagine. If you're not adaptable, you are not somebody that anyone wants to hire. You want to hire people who are good, who can contribute, who can be a team player, who can present really well, who's full of energy, enthusiasm, not somebody who crips and complains all the time. So these are things, you would agree with me. I don't want people who are there, who's crying to me all the. Unfortunately, I did inherit a team that could include different personalities, and I have to deal with that sort of people as well. One of my staff actually told me, he said, one of the skills that you have that I haven't seen in anyone else is you are socially intelligent. I don't know what that means, but apparently I can handle any situation in a very smart way. If there's a whole argument going on, I can actually find my ways and navigate it and find things done, sorted. And that is also a skill. How you can manage that sort of situation. I manage a team. You can't manage a team with so many different personalities, not knowing how to manage it. And I think I have cracked the code, but you never know. Somebody really challenging. No, I do get challenges, believe me, daily, weekly, every minute sometimes. I'm working 2 time zones right now. So I get a lot of challenges, but I know how to navigate. But that are skills that you learn from this journey, from your PhD, from your master's. Everything teaches you a different skill. Don't be a rigid sort of graduate. Like you come out, you only know your field and that's it. I don't know more than that. That's why you work with other people. You have respect for other people. You learn different skills. You know different areas. You learn. AI might not be your field, but what's wrong learning it? Cybersecurity might not be your field, but you should know about it. I know enough to find my ways around it. I'm not an expert in it, but I've taught the modules and everything. I've taught everything under the sun in computing, everything from business IT to cybersecurity, cryptography. I've taught everything. And I have even taught, I created the whole electrification course. I have no clue about what it entails. I learned it. I learned every part of the car. I'm so adaptable that I don't have To be honest, I know how to manage my time. The other skill that you should also have is time management. I've run a course for my entire team on how to manage their time. Students, obviously, yes, but even my team. Because if you don't know how to manage your time, you will have the biggest problem. And that is not for your PhD only. It's for lifelong skills. A lot of people don't know how to manage their time. So please learn that as well. Hopefully that was a long answer for your question, but hopefully I have answered your question in some way or the other. About? Yes, time management is essential. I would say the question that you asked is really important. You need to have balance, because if you don't have balance, you will not, you will be on one side or the other. And the fact is, you need to balance your time, because you do need to have a life. If you think that you don't need, I often don't have a life as well. There are times that I'm really bad at not having, I don't have time to have a life, but still I know that it's essential, because I need to have friends, family, or everyone around me. So which is why you need to find your ways to manage it. There are so many different tactics that I have actually taught students and my staff as well. There is something called Eisenhower matrix. That is really useful. There's time blocking. You block time specifically for a task, where you just do your marking or your studying during that 2 hours without any emails. Can utilize that as well. Time blocking works really well. So I have taught a lot of people that, and if you can manage your time in that way, I think it will be brilliant for you. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other question? You had a question as well, right? Yes. Okay. That's a very good question. How do I teach e-commerce students with AI? We haven't started that. To be honest, we haven't. We are exploring ways, because in e-commerce, because one of the specialism we have, that's not my area, because data science is not my area, but it falls under my discipline group as well. We teach them how to create websites using Python, different WordPress, things like that. We are actually teaching, but we are also utilizing AI to see how we can help it, but we haven't implemented yet. But we are looking at different tools and technology. But one of my staff even has utilized ChatGPT to give them tasks through ChatGPT. That is one of the ways that we are looking at, but we haven't actually explored in depth yet how you can teach it, because it's also moving really fast and we have to be careful not to get into it until we are certain. So while there are so many tools that are available, some of them even write codes through AI, which is questionable. Then they don't learn the coding skills. But I would say that we haven't reached that point and in a very firm manner yet. We are still exploring. But when we actually do it, because it will move really fast, because now I have my AI course and this one, we will combine a lot of it. But it's a very good question. Hopefully, keep updated with my LinkedIn. Please feel free to add me there. You will see a lot of progress regarding various areas. So hopefully that helps you. Okay, no problem. Yes. Good question. I can't tell you, because obviously you have to go through interviews and things like that. And we don't have a current position yet, but definitely keep in touch with me. And when you finish, get in touch with me. If we have something good, then I will let you know. If it aligns to your area, yes. But I would advise you, you seem very hardworking, very dedicated, which is good, but balance your life as well. Because I want to hire somebody who balances. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good, good. Yeah. Okay, but definitely the roles will keep coming up and down, and you will see me advertising on LinkedIn as well. So if there are opportunities, definitely apply for it. Okay. Good questions. Okay. I hope that has been useful for you. It was a pleasure speaking with all of you all here, and I wish you all the success. I will leave my name card here. Please feel free to get in touch with me if there's anything I can support you with. All right? Go ahead.
Thank you so much. All right. We give another round of applause to Dr. Awinder and forum participants. All right. So before we end the session, probably later we have a group photo together. But now I would like to invite Mr. Sodi to present kind of a presentation, the certificate, Dr. Awinder. So
That's so kind. Maybe we should change the slide to first page. Yes. Thank you for the certificate. That's really kind. There you go. Okay. Okay. Good to see you after years. Thank you. You know, you are going to be all over LinkedIn right now, right? Thank you so much for this. Yes, 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 please. Hopefully it was useful. You need to be here as well?
Yeah, I think the important part on.
Okay, we go to
Okay.
Okay. So Sandeep, come sit down in the middle. Yeah, come in front.
Yeah, I think you can move a bit front, then you can see.
Kevin, come.
And I was always the kind of student that loves sitting in front.
In front or at the back? Because you're already out of it. Here at the back. Other one. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, thank you everyone. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm based in UK. I have been there since October 2015. Before that, I was in New Zealand for 4 years. I did my PhD in New Zealand. New Zealand.
I thought it was Australia.
No, New Zealand. So after USM, I moved.
Yeah, I know. After USM, you moved to. I thought it was Australia.
No, New Zealand.
Right, for the audience here, kindly later scan for the feedback form and also for your
I'll leave my cards also here. Or
Thank you.
so if you need my card as well, it's here. Yes. Yes, of course. There you go.
Thank you.
All the best. Yes. Yeah. Please. Yes, of course. Yes. Yes, of course.